Now we'll practice Uttanasana. Start in Tadasana, feet together, and then interlace your hands behind your back for this variation of Uttanasana. Shoulders rolling back, side ribs lifting, and then hinge at the hips to fold forward into the forward bend, taking the arms up and overhead. You can practice squeezing the shoulder blades together here. You can squeeze the heels of the hands together. Let your head release down. Think of pulling the hands away from your shoulder blades. Be long in the belly here, strong in the legs. And then lead with your knuckles going back as you inhale and come all the way up. And then switch the interlace of the fingers and roll your shoulders back again and hinge forward at the hips to fold, taking the arms up and overhead again. Relax and release your head. Draw up through the musculature of the legs. Pull the arms away from the spine. Long extended elbows. Let your head be heavy. Let your spine be long. Let your abdomen be long. Breathing here as you enjoy Uttanasana. And then inhale and come on all the way up, leading with the arms. And then release the interlace and stand in Tadasana. Now we'll practice Garudasana Arms in Tadasana. So stand in mountain pose, and then inhale and lift the arms out to the sides, and exhale and sweep the right arm underneath the left arm as you see here. And then inhale and lift the elbows up, reach the forearms up, and exhale, lower the elbows and forearms down to chest height. And then inhale, lift the elbows again, lift the chest and the collarbones. Exhale and pull the forearms forward away from you as you lower the elbows down. Inhale, lift the elbows up, pull the forearms forward and up. And exhale, lower the elbows down, pulling the forearms forward again. And continue like this, thinking of the shoulder blades moving away from the spine, around and out to the sides. Continue here. Be long in the trunk and strong in the legs, standing right over the arches. Inhale, lifting the elbows and the forearms up. And then exhale and release the arms out to the sides. Take an inhale here. And exhale and swing the left arm underneath the right arm. Let the abdomen settle back as you lift the elbows and forearms and chest and chin. And then exhale, lower the elbows and forearms down, also pulling the forearms away from the chest. Inhale, lifting the forearms up. Exhale, lower the arms. Let those shoulder blades get pulled away from the spine here. Stay long in the anterior spine and keep going. Breathing here as you move. Inhale, lifting the elbows and forearms up. Exhale, lowering them down. And again, lifting. And now exhale, release the arms. And recover here, standing tall, collarbones wide. Now we'll practice Gomu Kasana Arms with a special neck stretch. So stand in Tadasana with your feet a little apart. Have the strap in your right hand and lift your right arm up. And then reach the right forearm down behind your head. Lift the left arm up and then lift the left shoulder to internally rotate the left arm and reach the left fingertips up towards the right shoulder blade, and then grab onto the strap with the left hand. Be even here in your trunk, and then look with your head towards the left shoulder and start to lower the chin down towards the left collarbone. Think of sliding the right inner shoulder blade down your back. Be long in the sides of your rib cage. Roll the left shoulder back and down, and continue to play with some head movements here, letting the head turn left and chin down, maybe letting the left ear move towards the left shoulder a little bit. Keep the sides of the body long. Keep the inner right shoulder blade sliding down your back. Pull on the strap with both hands and breathe here in an even Tadasana-like body. And then come back to center with your head and release the bind of the arms, coming back to a neutral position. And then put the strap in the left hand, lift the left arm up, bend the left elbow to bring the forearm behind the head, lift the right arm up, lift the right shoulder to internally rotate the right arm, and then swing the right forearm up so that your right fingertips reach towards the left shoulder blade and grab the strap. Lift the right frontal shoulder and roll it back, and then turn your head to the right and let your chin go down towards the right collarbone. Keep lifting the left elbow up. Slide the inner left shoulder blade down your back. Stay long in both sides of your body, so the side ribs are lifting on both sides. And then play with your head movements here, turning the head to the right and down, right ear towards right shoulder, left inner shoulder blade sliding down your back. Breathing here as you stretch the deep muscles of the neck. Keep grabbing the strap behind your heart, grabbing with both hands. Breathing as you play with these head movements gently. And then come back to center with your head and release the bind. Now for Bada, Hasta in Uttanasana, bound arms in Uttanasana. Lift the arms up overhead, parallel feet and legs, and grab opposite elbows with your hands, and then fold forward, hinging at the hips, lifting up through the musculature of the legs. Lift the fronts of the legs, lift the buttocks, and with your hands pull the elbows down to lengthen the waist, lengthen the armpits. Let your arms be a little bit behind your head, so you can even pull the elbows up and forward a little bit. Lengthen your belly, lengthen the front of your trunk, and then fold back down, and then switch the cross of the hands. Breathing here as you lengthen the front of the trunk, take the arms a little bit back behind the head, and then fold even deeper as you lengthen the sides of your body down towards the elbows. Pull the elbows with those opposite hands. Relax and release the head here. Relax and release the shoulder blades. And then let the arms move back behind the head, and let those arms lead you to come on all the way up. And then release the arms out to the sides and down. Now we'll practice reverse prayer position. So stand in Tadasana And lift your arms out to the sides. And then internally rotate your arms by lifting the shoulders, rolling those arms in, and then swing your fingertips up your spine behind your back. And see how far up you can slide those pinky fingers. And then try to close the hands into a prayer position here. It's difficult to get the pointer finger knuckles and the thumbs together, but do your best here and lift the fronts of your shoulders and roll them back. And see if the pinky fingers right at the spine can help the thoracic spine move in towards the chest. And then lift up through the anterior spine. And release the arms here. Now we'll practice Tadasana with some external rotation in the arms. So bend your knees and lift the shoulders up, and then bring the shoulders back and down. And start to externally rotate the arms, turning the palms to face the ceiling. And the palms facing the ceiling is an expression of the entire arm turning, the right arm and the left arm. And start to really reach the thumbs back behind you, guiding the whole arm to rotate, the right and the left. And now be strong in the legs and lift up long through the sides of your body. Let the arms externally rotate, the shoulders move back and down, and let your head balance right above the tailbone here. Stay active. And then release. Bring your hands onto your hips and step your feet wide for a variation of side angle. And then turn your whole right leg out and turn your left foot in slightly. Bend your right knee into a warrior two position and rest your right forearm onto your right thigh. Left hand is on the left hip to help you settle here. And start to sweep your left arm up and overhead and look at that left hand. And then on an exhale, sweep the left arm back and behind your back as you look down with your chin. And then inhale, sweep the arm around and up, looking at the hand. Exhale, turn your head to look down at your right big toe as the left arm goes behind your back. And then inhale, sweep the arm up and around. Inhaling, look at the top hand. And exhale, sweep the arm down and around as you look down. Inhale, look up at the top hand. The arm sweeps up. Exhale, the arm sweeps back and around as you look down. Inhale, look at the top palm. Exhale, look down at the right big toe. Letting the arm move in this big circle here. Inhaling, looking up. Exhale, arm sweeps behind your back, internally rotates. Inhale, arm externally rotates. And then get ready to switch sides. Go ahead and turn the right leg in. And then turn the left leg all the way out. Turn the right toes in a little more. Bend your left knee. Rest your left forearm onto your left thigh. Right hand starts on the right hip. And then inhale, sweep your arm all the way up and overhead. Gaze at the top palm. And exhale, sweep the arm behind your back, looking down. Inhale, look up at the top hand. Exhale, look down as you sweep the arm back and around. Inhale, externally rotate the arm, looking up. Exhale, internally rotate the arm, take it behind the back as you look down. Inhale, look up at the top palm, sweeping the arm up and around. Exhale, sweep the arm back and around as you look down. And keep going here, staying long in your spine, staying open in those right side ribs. Continue here, enjoying the full sweep of the arm. Inhale, gazing at the top hand. Exhale, look down as you take the right arm behind your back. Inhale, opening here, and then exhale, come out of the pose. Find parallel legs, hands on hips, and step your feet together. Now we'll practice another version of side angle. Start in Tadasana, hands on hips, step your feet wide. Shoulders back, long trunk. Turn your whole right leg out and your left toes in, and bend your right knee, and bring your right forearm onto your right thigh. Left hand on left hip, left shoulder, left ribs opening. Now really turn your left ribs open to the ceiling so that your trunk is facing forward as you see here. And keep your whole trunk turning to the left as you look down with your head. So the head turns to the right. And then staying like this, in this deep rotation, start to extend and flex the cervical spine by lifting and lowering the chin. So you keep the left shoulder open. You keep the chin aligned, looking down towards the big toe, and then you lift the chin up along that plane and lower. Lifting and lowering the chin. So we're extending and flexing the cervical spine as we're in this rotation. And then come on up and switch sides. Bending the left knee here, rest the left forearm on the left thigh. Roll the right shoulder open, roll the right belly up towards the ceiling. And keeping the right side body open, turn the head down towards the floor and stay in that rotation as you start to lift and lower the chin. In flexion and extension as you maintain this deep rotation. The thoracic spine is turning open towards the ceiling, and the cervical spine is rotating down so the head faces the left foot, and then lift and lower the chin here. Stay strong in the legs, long in the spine, and then finish and come up. Make your feet parallel and then step your legs together. Come onto your belly for Shalabhasana. Lengthen your legs back to prepare and then rest your forehead down. Backs of the hands resting down. And then start to lift the arms and legs up. Palms facing up, thumbs pointing towards each other. Stretch the legs back and stretch the backs of the legs. Roll the thighs in. Open your toes. Lift the arms up. Lift the wrists up. And then pull the fingers and the arms back as you pull the right and left sides of the spine forward. So the arms and legs pull back as the spine reaches forward. And then exhale and relax down and turn your right cheek to rest onto the floor. Breathe here as you relax your arms and your shoulders, and then turn and face the other way so your left cheek will come to the floor. Breathing here as you relax the buttocks and the lower back. Come onto your belly for Shalabhasana. Lengthen your legs back to prepare, and then rest your forehead down. Backs of the hands resting down. And then start to lift the arms and legs up. Palms facing up, thumbs pointing towards each other. Stretch the legs back and stretch the backs of the legs. Roll the thighs in. Open your toes. Lift the arms up, lift the wrists up, and then pull the fingers and the arms back as you pull the right and left sides of the spine forward. So the arms and legs pull back as the spine reaches forward. And then exhale and relax down and turn your right cheek to rest onto the floor. Breathe here as you relax your arms and your shoulders, and then turn and face the other way so your left cheek will come to the floor. Breathing here as you relax the buttocks and the lower back. Now grab a blanket and spread the blanket out onto the middle of the mat as you see here, and lay down on your belly for dhanurasana, bow pose. Make sure that the blanket is padding the fronts of the hips. And then bend your knees and grab onto your ankles. Keep looking down at first and start to lift your thighs way up, and keep your knees magnetized towards each other. So don't let those knees get wider than your hips. Squeeze your knees towards each other and lift the thighs way up high. And then pull the ankles up towards the ceiling with the arms, and kick your feet back into your hands and lift up. Breathing here. And then exhale and release down. And then pull up to hands and knees. Now we'll practice camel pose. So have your blanket underneath your shins. And then rest the bolster onto the heels and have a seat down on the bolster. And pull the flesh of your buttocks back. Rest your hands onto your thighs here. And sit here for a moment with a long spine. And then place your hands down onto the bolster and start to lift your hips forward and up. So now the fingertips only are resting on the bolster. Lift the shoulder blades up into the rib cage and start to lift the chest up and back, and then release the head back to stretch the throat. Shoulders reaching back, fingertips pressing into the bolster, buttocks reaching forward, thighs still pulling back. Bring the tailbone forward and into the body, and then create more length in the trunk here. Lift the chest up towards the ceiling from the shoulder blades lifting up. And then exhale and sit back down onto the bolster. Hands on thighs, breathing here. Now we'll practice a version of supta virasana. So have your bolster behind you and be on your shins on a blanket. Bring the top of your head to the floor, and then bring your hands to your calves so that you can roll the calves out. And then you can rest your thighs down in between your shins. Make sure your toes are pointing straight back. And then you'll lay back over the horizontal bolster so that the bolster supports the rib cage. Make sure the bolster is not too low. You want to be free underneath the lumbar spine, so the bolster is really under the upper ribs. And then reach the arms up and overhead and let your head release back. Stretch through the arms, open hands. Let the tops of the thigh bones settle down. Be long in your abdomen here. Breathe here deeply, relaxing into the support of the bolster. Breathe smoothly into the rib cage. Inhaling and exhaling here, creating length in the pose. And then use your hands to help you come up. Come onto hands and knees and stretch your right leg back to open the back of the knee, and then stretch your left leg back to open the back of that knee. Now we'll practice downward facing dog. So come onto hands and knees. Spread your hands wide, hands about shoulder distance apart, or maybe a little wider. And then tuck your toes under and start to lift your buttocks up and back. Keep your heels lifting and start with bent knees here. Lift the backs of the legs, lift the buttocks, lift the fronts of the legs, and pull the legs way up into the height of the hips, and then pull your hips back. Pull your center thighs back, pull your inner thighs back, pull your outer thighs back, pull your rib cage up away from the arms. Press the thumb mounds and point your finger knuckles into the sticky mat. Lengthen all the way up through the arms and lift the pelvis up and back again. Squeeze the upper arms towards each other and let your head release down. Lengthen through the armpits, lengthen through the sides of your waist. Lengthen up through the legs and then pull the thighs back again. Stretch your heels back. And then release, coming back onto hands and knees. And sit on your shins to rest. Now grab your folded blanket for malasana and stand your heels onto the blanket, feet together in a forward bend. And then lower your hips down, let your knees widen so that you can fit your rib cage right in between your knees. Have a nice, soft, rounded back here. Stretch your arms in front of you, hands to the floor. And let your tailbone and your head be nice and heavy. So there's a nice roundness to the spine here. And hug your inner knees into your outer armpits. And let your arms reach forward and extend. Let your head relax and release. Let the tailbone release down. And pull your inner heels towards each other and down. Squeeze the armpits with your inner knees. Let the belly recede. And then start to take a bind by internally rotating your arms and then grab onto your heels with your hands. Again, let the tail and the head be heavy. Rounded back here. Let your shoulder blades fall away from your spine. Smooth breathing here. And then start to lift the head and the chest and stretch your arms forward again. Again, pulling the inner heels together and down. Toes and fingers are alive. Stretch long through your arms. And then come out of the pose by bringing your knees together. Sit back on your heels so the buttocks will lower down towards the blanket, and wrap your arms around your upper shins and pause. Now we'll practice a supported relaxation pose called blocks under lungs. So set up like this. So there's a little space between the two adjacent blocks, and that space is for your spine. And then lay back so that the two blocks support you right underneath your lungs, directly underneath the rib cage. And then the bolster is there to support your head and neck. And then adjust the flesh of your buttocks so that you pull the flesh of the buttocks away from the lower back towards the feet. And then you can start to stretch and relax the legs one at a time. Let the shoulders relax and release here. Let the arms relax out to the sides. And breathe deeply here as you enjoy the support that the blocks give to the rib cage, So relax into the support of the blocks, relax into the support of the bolster. And as you breathe, see if you can invite a sense of fullness and awareness to the whole rib cage, feeling the dimension of the rib cage, the length, the width, and the depth of the rib cage. Feel into that as you breathe deeply here. Slow down your exhalations. Stay present as you relax here. And then start to bend your knees, placing the feet flat. And make your way onto your side. Pause here. Now we'll practice Shavasana. So have a blanket near your head and lay down to come into the pose. Start with knees bent and feet flat and adjust the flesh of the buttocks so the flesh pulls away from the lower back. And then release your legs down and reach back for the blanket and start to roll it up so that it becomes a nice supportive roll for your neck. So your neck can fully relax into the blanket roll. And this helps encourage the neck to have that healthy cervical curvature.